Forget every cute, polished time travel show you've ever watched, because nothing on TV can prepare you for the real terror of waking up in early medieval England, a world so brutal and unforgiving that every breath feels borrowed. Imagine closing your eyes in your warm bed tonight and opening them to find yourself lying on a freezing mound of straw inside a one-room hut made of sticks, mud, and smoke-stained thatch. The air is thick and sour, stinging your throat as you inhale, because there's no chimney, only a fire in the middle of the floor, coughing smoke directly into your lungs. Your entire family sleeps side by side beside you, and so do your pigs and sheep, their hot breath puffing into the icy dawn, their hooves shifting in the straw inches from your face. Your privacy never existed. Your rights, not a concept you even get to think about. You try to sit up and your back aches immediately, as if reminding you, you're not a guest here in medieval England. You're a serf, a member of the bottom 85% of the population, a human being tied to the land like a tree root. You don't get to choose where you live, where you go, or what you'll become. You are born into work, you live in work, and you die in work. Your body is a tool, and tools are expected to break. Dawn is your alarm clock, not because you're rested, but because the entire village begins to stir, and the Lord's work begins before the sun has even fully opened its eyes. You stumble outside into icy mud, your breath puffing white, and begin the endless cycle of ploughing, sowing, weeding, reaping, hauling, chopping, mending, and carrying until your muscles throb, your shoulders burn, and your hands split open from cold and friction. The tools are crude, wooden handles, iron edges, nothing sharp or comfortable, and you work in every season, under every sky. Blistering heat, freezing rain, snow that turns your fingers numb, wind that slices like knives. And for all this labor, what do you eat? The same heavy, gritty bread day after day, baked from dark flour filled with sand and tiny stone fragments that grind your teeth down until they crack. You get thin porridge, onions when they're in season, maybe beans if you're lucky, and weak ale because the water is so contaminated that drinking it might kill you faster than starvation. Meat, a fantasy. Only the Lord has the right to hunt. If you try to catch a deer or a boar to feed your starving family, you could face mutilation, torture, or death, because the forests obey the nobility, not the hungry. Your water comes from rivers and wells shared with livestock, full of human waste, animal waste, and rotting debris, making dysentery and typhoid constant companions. Your home never truly dries. Damp seeps into your clothes, your bones, your lungs. Bugs crawl in the straw. Fleas feast on your ankles, lice live in your hair. Every cough could be the start of something fatal, and yet you have no doctor to run to. Just herbs, prayers, and a midwife who hopes her hands are steady enough to help you survive. Life expectancy hovers around 30 to 35, and that number is dragged down by the fact that 1 in 3 children dies before turning 5. You're lucky I dropped you here as a 20-year-old, meaning you've already dodged the deadly lottery of childhood diseases like measles, dysentery, and whooping cough. But don't relax. This world still has new horrors waiting. Some years, crops fail, too much rain, not enough sun, a swarm of pests, and the whole village sinks into famine. People eat bark, grass, or the last scraps of old grain, hoping they don't fall victim to ergot, a fungus that turns bread into poison. Eat ergot-tainted bread, and you might start shaking violently, hallucinating demons, screaming uncontrollably, or dancing until you collapse, your limbs jerking as if pulled by invisible strings. In the worst cases, blood flow stops, and your fingers and toes turn black, shrivel, and fall off like burnt twigs. Rich people aren't safe either. They drink from polished pottery glazed with lead, slowly poisoning themselves, their bodies deteriorating without anyone understanding why. And if you're a woman, life is even more terrifying. You belong to your father until you're handed to your husband like property. Your days are endless. Cooking, spinning, weaving, cleaning, hauling water, feeding animals, tending fires, working the fields, raising children, and praying childbirth doesn't kill you. Giving birth is one of the most dangerous events of your life. There's no anesthesia, no sanitation, no understanding of germs. A simple fever after childbirth can take you within days. A baby positioned wrong can cost both of you your lives. And if the mother dies, the baby often dies too. Men may face war, but women face death in their own homes. And speaking of war, this age is full of it. Rival kings fight endlessly for power, and Viking raiders strike without warning, burning villages, killing men, enslaving women and children, and taking whatever they want. As a serf, You have no choice but to fight when the Lord demands it, even if all you have is a wooden shield and your farming tools. You march into battle with no training, no armor, and no hope except luck. Casualties among peasants are enormous, and when men die, their families sink deeper into hunger and poverty. But even if you manage to avoid war, disease, starvation, childbirth, and poison, you still have to fear the medieval legal system. Justice is brutal and public: whipping, branding, mutilation, humiliation. But the most insane part is the trial by ordeal, a test where God supposedly reveals your innocence. You may be forced to carry red-hot iron, plunge your arm into boiling water, or be thrown into a pond. Sink, and you're innocent. Float, and you're guilty. And through all of this, people keep going. They laugh, they fall in love, they gossip, they dance on feast days, they dream of better harvests, better weather, better years, because the human spirit adapts even to the unthinkable. But now that you've seen, smelled, tasted, and felt the truth of this harsh world, the real question is simple. Could you survive early medieval England? Leave your answer in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed this brutal journey, subscribe for more shocking history, and I'll see you in the next video.